People are losing their minds. And listening and watching the media's response to the president coming home from Walter Reed yesterday is unintentionally one of the most head-snapping, hilarious things I've ever seen in my life. They're furious that he's recovering from COVID. I mean, they're literally angry. They're mad that he went back to the White House. He got off the helicopter. He walked up, I think, about 75 steps, stood on the balcony, took his mask off. They're mad he took his mask off by himself on an outside balcony. There's nobody in the shot. He's by himself, and they're mad that he took his mask off. I'm not, if you haven't been paying attention, because I don't blame you, because if you engage in these sick, crazy people, you'll get sick too. You'll get emotionally unwell. Imagine being furious that the president is standing on the balcony of the White House by himself and he took his mask off. New York Times sent out a tweet, Maggie Haberman. The president's advisors hope to show that he's beaten the virus and also that he understands it better than he did. First thing he did when he got to the White House was take his mask off. That's the reporter from the New York Times? Heck, front page of the New York Post. Shows a big picture of the president taking his mask off by himself on a balcony outside, face off, defiant Trump removes mask after release from hospital. Can't take your mask off. You got to sleep with it, right? You keep it on 24/7, I guess. I don't know. I'm holding off on having the nervous breakdown till Saturday. The president had a very powerful message. President's message was strong. This is what the president said after he was discharged from Walter Reed, now, of course, undoubtedly under care by his physicians and the medical facility that does exist at the White House. He's the commander-in-chief. He gets the best medical care in the world, and thank God he appears to be recovering nicely. Here's what he said from the White House.
I just left Walter Reed Medical Center, and it's really something very special. The doctors, the nurses, the first responders, and I learned so much about coronavirus. And one thing that's for certain, don't let it dominate you. Don't be afraid of it. You're going to beat it. We have the best medical equipment. We have the best medicines, all developed recently. And you're going to beat it. I didn't feel so good. And 2 days ago, I could have left 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I felt great, like better than I have in a long time. I said just recently, better than 20 years ago. Don't let it dominate. Don't let it take over your lives. Don't let that happen. We have the greatest country in the world. We're going back to work. We're going to be out front. As your leader, I had to do that. I knew there's danger to it, but I had to do it. I stood out front. I led. Nobody that's a leader would not do what I did. And I know there's a risk, there's a danger, but that's okay. And now I'm better, and maybe I'm immune. I don't know. But don't let it dominate your lives. Get out there. Be careful. We have the best medicines in the world, and it all happened very shortly, and they're all getting approved, and the vaccines are coming momentarily. Thank you very much. And Walter Reed, what a group of people. Thank you very much.
Can you give me your heartfelt response to the president's message of hope and optimism? Can you tell me, please, what that message, how that message made you feel? Because I think we have a pretty good idea of how it made a lot of people in the media feel. I think we have a pretty good idea of how it made Joe Biden feel. We have a decision to make in about 27, 28 days, whatever it is. So compare that message of hope and optimism and inspiration from a man who got COVID and, God willing, is recovering nicely, to the man who wants to be the 46th president of the United States.
I would hope that the president, having gone through what he went through, and I'm glad he seems to be coming along pretty well, would communicate the right lesson to the American people. Masks matter. These masks, they matter.
Masks matter. That's his takeaway. National mask mandate. He has promised he'll do that if elected president. There'll be, I guess, a law that law enforcement in all 50 states have to enforce. If you don't have a mask on, standing out in the middle of a field somewhere, you're going to get arrested. I guess. I don't know what a national mask mandate looks like, because I thought we didn't want a president who's an emperor or a tyrant. And I know how the media reacted. The media flipped out completely at the president's message from the balcony of the White House and his Twitter saying the same thing. Don't let it consume you. Don't become paralyzed with fear. Seems to me to be a perfectly reasonable and logical thing for a president of the United States to say. Here was the media's response.
Oh, my goodness, Nicole. When I saw that Trump, I mean, I literally was overwhelmed.
And now we see this tweet, which is heartless. It is cruel.
What does that mean, don't be afraid of it? I mean, first of all, it's a contagious disease that kills people. There's nowhere to even begin.
It's just so horrible, so destructive to say I feel better than I have in 20 years.
He's saying this is so disrespectful.
The president says it's no big deal. I mean, it's outrageous.
It's disgraceful, Wolf. It's absurd.
There's another lunatic from MSNBC named Joy Ann Reid. Here she was last night. She's basically saying, hold my beer. You think that was crazy? I can take your crazy and one-up you.
This is a Mussolini moment. Donald Trump, who looks like he has makeup on, which means somebody had to get close enough to make up his face with his favorite orange patina. He's standing there as if he is, a member of the old Russian Tsar family. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I guess it's his sort of discount Bolsonaro, Nira.
Listen, I'm not kidding you. I come to work thinking I can't be shocked anymore. I'm in a state of shock. I really am. I'm going to have the breakdown by Friday. I'm with Eric. Eric will have his on Thursday. I'll have mine on Friday, because we are. You want to talk about being consumed? I am consumed with the insanity of people who are falling apart at the seams. Joy Reid is a nut, a Mussolini moment, because the president is trying to convey a symbol of recovery, of getting through a challenge like coronavirus. Maggie Haberman's furious that he took his mask off on the balcony by himself outside the White House. These people are listen, mental illness is real. They're deranged. And honest to goodness, when you see a bunch of collective madness like this, you start to think it's you. You know the old saying, it's not, what's the old joke about just because you think everybody's out to get you doesn't necessarily mean it's not true? I mean, they're all nuts. He is breaking them every day. And the question is, are we going to get this right on November the 3rd? Or are we going to let madness win? Are we going to let irrational insanity beat this president and beat the Republican agenda of pro-life, strong military, pro-law enforcement, lower taxes, national security, all the justice reform, criminal justice reform, police reform, better community relations between police and communities, particularly black communities? Is all that going to happen? Or are we going to let the inmates literally run the asylum on November the 3rd? 1-800-655-MIKE. Welcome in. It's a Tuesday episode of The Mike Gallagher Show. Tuesday, October 6th, 2020, in the ReliefFactor.com studios.